Hello and welcome to the 3Bs podcast, where we go beyond the numbers and get into what actually makes a business work. I'm your host, Stephanie Marshall, founder of ABCS UK, a multi-award-winning boutique finance and systems partner. I help business owners who've outgrown the basics bring clarity, structure, and proper systems into their business so things finally feel in control. If you want more clarity, more confidence, and a business that doesn't feel like constant chaos, you're in the right place. Each week we tackle real problems, answer the questions you're probably already thinking, and give you practical steps you can actually use in around 15 minutes. So if you're ready to build a better business with confidence and clarity, then let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast, your go-to place for around 15 minutes of motivation, education, and inspiration to help you build a better business each week. If we haven't met before, my name is Stephanie Marshall. I am the founder of ABCS UK, a multi-award-winning boutique finance and systems partner, and I help growing businesses who have outgrown their bookkeeper move from messy reactive finances to clear, structured numbers and systems they can actually use to run their businesses properly. Because I truly care about the people behind the business, not just the numbers. Now, today's episode is for a very specific stage of business. And if this is you, you'll know it quite quickly. Because when people talk about business, they tend to talk about two stages: the beginning or the success stage, starting out or scaling up. But there's this middle stage that sits in between those two. And it's a stage most business owners spend the longest in. I like to call it the messy middle. This is the stage where you're not new anymore. You've got clients, you've got money coming in, and people know what you do. From the outside, it looks like it's working, and in many ways it is. But behind the scenes, it doesn't feel as smooth as it looks. The messy middle feels like being busy all the time and constantly having things to do. Feeling like you're always playing catch up and not quite feeling in control. But it's not quite chaos, and it's not calm either. It's somewhere in between. This messy middle part is where a lot of business owners start thinking, I thought it would feel easier by now. I thought I'd feel more in control, or I thought I'd have it more together. And that creates frustration because on paper, things really are working. But internally, it just doesn't feel like it. This stage is quite confusing because nothing is obviously broken in your business. You're not failing by any means. You're not struggling to get clients. You're not at zero. But things feel harder than they should. And that's the part that people don't expect. We're not told this as business owners. The root of the problem is this. What's actually happening is your business has grown, but the way you're running it hasn't caught up yet. You're still operating like you did at the beginning, winging it. But the business is no longer at the beginning. And that gap is what creates that mess. Let's say you started your service-based business with 3 to 5 clients. You could keep everything in your head, respond quickly, manage things as they came in. And that works. But fast forward to when you've got 15, 20, maybe even more clients, and you're still trying to run things the same way. That's where the pressure builds. If you want to know what the messy middle looks like day to day, it often looks like this. Emails everywhere. I am one of those people who does not like to have a notification. I hate the number on your phone. I hate the little red dot next to your Outlook symbol that tells you you've got an unread email. The messy middle often looks like lots of unread emails or lots of emails that you've read and flagged to deal with later. Tasks in different places. Maybe you have some things written down in the notes on your phone, some are in a CRM system. You've tried to use Notion to make things easier, or Trello. Things being remembered rather than tracked, that's a real big one. Having to try and remember all the little individual nuances of all of your clients or customers. And decisions being made quickly without full visibility. None of it will feel wrong necessarily. It just feels heavy, just feels like a lot. One of the biggest symptoms of that messy middle is time. You're busy, but not always productive. I talk about it a lot on the podcast. Go back to the last few episodes of Series 3. I was talking a lot about busy does not always mean profitable. Maybe you're working a lot, but not always moving forward. That creates that constant feeling of, I'm doing a lot, but I don't feel ahead. Like, how much more can I do? I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. Maybe you feel like you're treading water. Now let's talk about the financial side of this. Not in a numbers deep dive kind of way, bear with me, in a reality way. Because in that messy middle, you have money coming in, but the clarity isn't always there. Decisions are often made quickly using the wrong data, if any data at all. And there's not always a clear view of what's actually happening in your business. So what happens is you end up saying things like, I think I'm doing okay, which, as we talked about before, is not the same as knowing. There's a part of this that nobody talks about, and I'm probably going to be one of the first, and that's okay. This messy middle stage carries a lot of emotional weight too. Because not only are you responsible for your income, sometimes your household's income too. You're responsible for your clients and responsible for all of the decisions or most of the decisions in your business. And even when things are going really well, that responsibility does not go away. It sits there. That emotional weight is always there in the back of your mind. If you're feeling like this is you and I'm talking to you as a business owner, please know you're not alone. I, right now, am in the messy middle too. Coming up to 5 years of ABCS UK, I am fully in the messy middle, feeling all of the feelings, all of the weight. So if you need someone to talk to, the link is in the show notes to book 15 minutes out of my diary, just so you feel a little less alone, and together maybe we can make the first step to getting out of this messy middle and getting into that scaling up category, which I presume you want to do by watching or listening to this podcast. Now, here's the important part. There's a trap that people fall into in the messy middle. So when things feel messy, most people try to fix it by doing more. More work, more hours, more clients. I'm definitely guilty of that one. Because doing something feels like you're making progress, but what it's not doing is solving the problem. The issue isn't and wasn't ever not enough effort. It is how the business is being run. You don't need more activity. You need more clarity, more structure, and more intention. Think about this. If your day already feels full, if your diary is already packed out with meetings, adding more to it doesn't fix that. It just makes it even more full. But if you improve how your day is structured, everything starts to feel different. Now, the good news is you don't stay in this stage forever, but you do have to move out of it intentionally. This is not something that you will fall into and grow through. I sometimes call the messy middle growing pains. And the shift is this: you need to go from reactive to intentional. And like I say, I'm doing this right alongside you right now. No more firefighting. Everything is done with intention. You also need to shift from doing everything to doing only what matters. And that's learning to say no to things that no longer align with where you want your business to be. And you need to go from guessing to understanding, financially, operationally, across the whole of your business. Because moving out of the messy middle looks like putting systems in place, even the simple ones. Getting clarity on your numbers, making more considered decisions, setting boundaries around your time. And these are not huge dramatic changes, but they are consistent ones, and these little small changes really do add up and start to snowball. I want you to just pause for a second and ask yourself right now, does your business feel calm or constantly slightly behind? Because that answer will tell you exactly where you are. And if I'm being transparent, I feel like I'm in the constantly slightly behind. I know things need to change, and I'm starting to implement those changes right now. If you're also in this stage, I want you to hear this clearly. This is normal. It's not you failing. This is growing pains, and it's a sign of growth. But this is not a stage that you stay in or will want to stay in, because the longer you are in there, the more exhausting it becomes. The messy middle is where your business starts asking more from you, and not more work. It's asking for better decisions. It's asking for support and structure. Before we finish, I want to give you one thing to do, like I do every week on the 3Bs podcast. This week, I want you to identify one area of your business that feels unnecessarily complicated. Just one. It might be how you manage your tasks right now, how you communicate with clients and how they communicate with you, how you organize your workload. And ask yourself, how could this be simpler? Not perfect, simpler. because simplicity is what moves you out of the messy middle. And by this time next week, that one change will already start to make things feel lighter in your business. If you want to know which one mine is, drop me a DM on social media and tell me what yours is, and I'll let you know what I'm going to do this week too. So if your business feels a little messy right now, a little bit reactive, you feel like you're constantly firefighting, maybe it's heavier than it should feel, you're probably in the messy middle, and that's okay. But the goal right now isn't to do more of anything. It's to run your business differently, with more clarity, more structure, more intention. Because your business deserves better than constant chaos and firefighting. If you found this episode useful, please do like, rate and review. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify. It really helps more business owners find the podcast so we can all build better businesses. And if you're listening to this episode or watching it and can think of a fellow business owner that this relates to, who probably need to know that they're in the messy middle and this is not forever, send it to them. And if you want support moving out of that messy middle and into something that feels more structured alongside me, you want it more clear and more in control, that's exactly what we do at ABCS UK. The link is in the show notes to book 15 minutes in my diary to see how ABCS UK can help you. Because your business deserves better. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week for the next episode. Bye. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. If this has helped you think differently about your business, then it's done its job. Make sure you're following or subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And if you found it useful, please do leave a review. It helps more business owners find this and start running their businesses properly. If you want more insights behind the scenes and the reality of what it actually takes to build a better business, come and connect with me on social media. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start running your business with clarity, structure, and confidence, your next step is just a click away, because your business deserves better. I'll see you in the next episode.